Black woman versus the world. I'm so rare, like a golden pearl.
All right. Good morning, everyone. My name is Shar. My artist name is Shar Ariel. Gotta make sure my titty is not out. Welcome to Black Women versus the World. This is going to be a soft launch episode. My first official episode, I think, will be my live podcast. That's supposed to be happening on October 24th. I hope you all can make it. I will release more details soon. But for now, I just want to do like a mini episode to get you guys a feel of how the podcast is going to be. Sorry, I got to put my fake nose ring back in. And these are not real glasses. These are blue light glasses. My eyes are strained because I'm on screens all the time doing content. It's exhausting. My eyes are tired. So I hope that you guys enjoy. Give me some feedback. Let me know. Like, comment, subscribe. I got YouTube, BWVTW. I had to think about it in my head. BWVTW podcast. That is my handle on TikTok, on Facebook, and on YouTube. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this episode. Let me know what you think. So first, I have to introduce myself, my podcast, what's going on. So hello, everybody. Again, my full name is Shara. Funny story. The origin of my name is off of an alien on Star Trek. Her name was Shari. Somehow my mom came up with Shara. So it's very unique. I haven't met a lot of Sharas. I know there are people who have variations of the name, Lashara, Tashara, whatever, but I'm probably one of one. There's not a lot of people I come across that have my name, but I've never met anybody personally that has the same name as me. So God already meant for me to be unique. But that is the main thing I want to tell about people. I'm definitely a child of God. I see this tattoo, baby. I got this when I was 18, I believe. So if it came down to it and they coming to persecute Christians, baby, I'm going. I'm going to meet my maker. I'm going to that place. Okay. I'm originally from Philly. I've always had a deep sense of this is my other tattoo I got when I was 19, studying abroad in China. Wanderlust is what it says, which means the desire to travel. So ever since I was younger, my dad actually told me a few years ago that when I was 3 years old, I said that I wanted to go to China and that I was going to make it to China. And when I was 19 years old, that's the first place I went out the country. I studied abroad in China. My major was international studies with a concentration in management. I went to Pepperdine University in Malibu, California. Woo! If y'all have seen Zoe 101, it's for specific people in the 90s and early 2000s. If you're too old or you're too young, you don't know what I'm talking about. But if you know, you know. That is a school that my college was a school that was filmed at. So but I've been traveling ever since I turned 18. I never went to California before I went to college. Most of the places I've lived, I visited maybe once before I moved. Currently, I live in St. Croix in the U.S. Virgin Islands. I did not visit here before I moved here. I originally was going to go to St. Thomas, which I visited once 4 years ago on a solo trip. And I did go to St. John on that same trip. So this is a very new experience for me. I've been meaning to start my podcast for at least a year. The meaning, Black Woman versus the World, is about my experiences as a brown Black American. And when I say American, now I know since I'm in the US Virgin Islands and this is a territory, I'm specifically meaning American as born in the contiguous United States. Like even Alaska and Hawaii are kind of outliers because Hawaii was usurped. So technically it's a territory too, even though they call it a state. And Alaska is out there on its own, same thing. Really not supposed to be US territory, but it is. So there you go. But my mom moved me to the suburbs when I was around like 6 years old. So, mind you, I was in Philly, like in the trenches. So I barely seen white people before. I didn't know how to interact with them. My mom didn't interact with a lot of white people. So it was very much culture shock and shocking for me when I moved to the suburbs. And so I've dealt with microaggressions, racism, and I've always been a minority in almost every situation I've been in, every community I've been in, whether it be work, whether it be college. In college, I went to a private white institution, Church of Christ school. I don't define the Church of Christ. I'm non denominational. I don't believe that if we believe in the same God, that we should all be having differences in opinions about the Bible and the word. It says what it says. It is what it is. So y'all over there trying to misinterpret stuff and do all the extra. I'm not with that. Anyways, at the end of the day, it's about relationship with God and your personal relationship. So right now I am, oh, I thought it was a mosquito on me. Right now I'm a creative entrepreneur. So I do social media marketing. I have a freelance business called The Sanguine Social. Um, People are always like, well, what does social media marketing entail? And actually, I really do everything. I do graphic design, I edit videos, I do content creation, resumes, flyers, all of the things, you name it, for the most part, I do. But I wouldn't call myself a professional in any of those things. I am good. I definitely could do it professionally. But like, if somebody was to say, are you a graphic designer? No, ma'am, no, sir. But if somebody was to say, can you code and do website design? No, ma'am, no, sir. But I can do the website designing, but I don't know how to do all of that stuff. And it's stuff that I'm learning. So I'm very much somebody who moves with the wind. wherever God takes me and leads me, that's where I'm going to go. So I have plenty of other careers I want to do. None of the careers I'm doing currently or that I'm working on are going to be my permanent career. I also am in the middle of writing a poetry book. I've been doing poetry since I was a preteen. It's a way for me to outlet my feelings. Likewise with music, I've been singing since I was a kid. I've been dancing, doing praise dance in church and all that stuff. I did ballet, tap, jazz, African dance, all of the things, you name it, I was doing it. So very much I'm just a creative person. God has placed creative gifts in my soul and in my heart. So I'm going to pivot wherever God calls me at any given point. But right now, mainly poetry, music, social media marketing, and writing my book specifically are the main things of my journey right now. I've been in St. Croix since the beginning of June, so I am going on. I can't even count, child. June, July, August, September. So this is technically my fifth month. The segments will be different. Most of them, when I get into my full length podcast episodes, they will definitely be. Oh, to start, I'm only going to be uploading to YouTube. I'll be posting snippets on TikTok and snippets on Instagram. But when I really fully launch and I get the camera I want, all the things, maybe, maybe not, depends on how these go. But once I really have a good setup and a good space to film my podcast in, I will definitely be uploading them to all platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Amazon, all of the things. But right now, I gotta get it together. We just want to get a little soft launch in, a little something for people to find tangible until I do my live podcast. And after my live podcast, we gonna get it cracking. Just so y'all know. So that's in a few weeks. Stay tuned. But the different segments that I will have for these first few episodes, the first one will be called "Is It Racist?" I got this idea from a different content creator. I don't know his name. I wish I did, but I just saw it randomly, and it was after what's that man name? The brother guy that passed away recently that they always said was a racist person. They were literally, he was going through clips of all the things that he said that were controversial, and he was making jokes about it. So I think it's funny because I personally have experienced a lot of things that are, and I think that a lot of other people can relate to this segment because there's probably times that they didn't even realize that they were being discriminated against. Sometimes you're in such shock that somebody would say or do something weird to you just because of the color of your skin that you don't even know how to react to it. So this first segment, is it racist? This one is going to be very short. Most of the time, I will go into depth into either a story I've been through or something else that a viewer has submitted. But this one will be something super basic and laughable because, again, these are mini episodes. So, the first thing that I have been through, actually a lot, but I find it really interesting, is dogs that have prejudice or racist owners barking at you when they see you. So a few houses down in the area that I live in, I barely see this dog. I haven't seen the dog in like a month, but every time that dog is outside on leash, that dog is like hard. It's a little chihuahua, and I hate chihuahuas. I'm sorry, I think they ugly. I do like dogs. I'm a dog lover, but them joints ugly. So it's not the first time I've had that happen. Like, you can sense the spirit of somebody who's racist. Like, they obviously will not speak to a black person when they're passing. They won't say hello. They will give you dirty looks, or like they have disdain. When you have discernment, you can sense those spirits about people with hate, jealousy, envy, all of those things. And so I've had this happen to me several times. Like, I literally just be in people's faces. I had a friend one time, I was in Tampa when I used to live there a few years ago. We was walking back from Armature Works. If you're in Tampa, you know where that's at. Shout out Armature Works. I miss living there. Shout out Empanadas. That food is good, y'all. I need to go get an empanada. I can't wait to go back and visit. But yeah, I was walking back from there to my car with my friend, and this person's dog was like literally about to come off the leash, trying to bark at me. And I'm looking at the owner like, "Did you finna do something?" The owner's looking, not even looking at us, just looking around like, "Oh well," like in disgust. So, out of curiosity, is it racist? Do y'all think? I personally think yes. My answer is yes. I think that owners and dogs have spirits. They can sense spirits about people. That's why if there's a demon or something in there, they be barking. They be knowing what's going on. When people are evil and you have a good-hearted owner and you have a good-hearted dog, they gonna know when somebody is, even if it's not that the owner is evil. If somebody means bad for the owner, dogs can sense a lot of stuff. They could sense the spirits now. And so I believe that if you have a racist dog owner, not that you can teach your dog to be racist, even though you can. Not that people are like, "Oh, well, when you see somebody of this color, bark at them." You're not teaching that, but dogs go off of their owner's energy. So if your owner is racist and they're uncomfortable with black people or people that are not a certain color or that are a certain thing, you don't think that that energy is going to be picked up by your dog when they live with you all the time? My personal opinion is that yes, it is racist if you're a prejudiced person and your dog be barking at people of certain colors. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Child, I am trying to keep my little boobies from popping out. Itty bitty titty committee, shout out to us. My friend made me, she didn't make me this shirt. She made the shirt for herself, which I don't know where and in what world her things were fitting in there because them joints got to be at least C's or D's. I don't know how she was wearing this without everything popping out, but she gave it to me and it seems to fit me well. So if we have anything pop out, I just had to blur it out or edit it out. Anyway, next. This segment is really funny because also it is inspired by my discriminatory experiences at my last corporate job. One time I was asking my supervisor about training that I was supposed to have been doing, but after I filed a case against them. So I'm in the middle of a case for discrimination and harassment. And so every single thing that happened that was discriminatory or seemed like it was harassment, of course I'm gonna say something to them about it and I'm adding it to my case. So I brought up about this training that I was supposed to be doing that never came back to me, never was a thing. And they were going to begin to train somebody who had been working there for a lesser period of time than me that started like at least 2 years after me. And they never put me back on the training to finish it or complete it. And this was like way before they were already being discriminatory, microaggressive, whatever, but before I ever made a complaint about it and brought it to their attention. So I'm talking to my supervisor, and I said, anybody who knows me, I'll be professional. I'm not unprofessional. They said I was, if you let them tell it, but I'm using very professional language. They just don't like the fact that I'm being direct. So I told my supervisor, like, I'm seeing this person in the chat. Like, you add her to the chat, does that mean she's about to be training? I sent screenshots and all of the proof of, like, you said that I was supposed to be training after this specific event happened. So now that I see that this person is training and I'm not going back to training, what happened? What's the reasoning? Basically avoided my question, tried to deflect, and was like, I could see how you would be frustrated, but you're jumping to conclusions. I said, and he said something about somebody else making those decisions. And I said, well, if you're not the person who makes the decisions on who trains who and what, let me talk to the person who does, because you seem to not be big dog around here. You seem to be just letting people run all over you and do whatever you want. So yeah, take me to whoever it is. So I was being smart, but I was definitely still in a professional way. I was like, well, if that's not the case, could you tell me? He got pissed. He responded. He was like, your response is unprofessional. The subject is closed. Man, he kind of ate me up with that. I ain't gonna hold you. Me and my friends still key about that every time we mention it. So I love that phrasing. I'm not gonna lie. He ate with that. The subject is closed. So therefore, that is the name of this segment, and it's going to be about things that are just pretty much non-negotiables for you. Like, it could be something that people could discuss, but you personally, you're not never going for it. So obviously I'm going to ask the audience, ask people what y'all think about certain things and bring up certain topics. So for me, again, these are petty things. We will get into deeper conversations, but since it's a mini episode, we're just going to talk about things for kikis and giggles. So for today, the subject is closed. The topic is dangling earrings on men. Me personally, I'm not talking to no man that wear no dangling earrings from his ear. I'm sorry, that's not going to work for me. It has nothing to do with anybody's sexuality or anything like that. It just really pisses me off to look at a man and see the earrings swinging. Like, I thought that I was supposed to be wearing dangling earrings and such. So I don't know. I probably would never date anybody or take them serious. Like, the second I see that you wear that type of jewelry, I don't know. I can't even tell you why. I couldn't give you a specific reason. It just irritates and irks my soul because most of the time, like I would say like 90% of the men that I see wearing it, they're not fashionable. Like, they just be throwing it on there. They're like fake spiritual or they're whatever. I can't even say fake spiritual. I'm sorry. I'm not going to knock nobody else's journey. Their journey is their journey. But as a grown man, for what reason do you need an earring dangling from your ear? I'm sorry. It's such a turn off to me. Like, I can be friends with you. I ain't going to judge you. But if you think I'm going to actually date you, be seen with a man that's wearing that, it's a no for me, dog, but it's no shade to anybody who does. I have plenty of male friends or people, acquaintances. I use the word friend a little too loosely. I have plenty of male acquaintances that wear dangling earrings. So no shade to y'all, because y'all, some of y'all do be looking good with it, but it just ain't for me. It ain't for me. What do y'all think about it? There's no shade. I was about to say, please don't come for me crazy in no comments just because of my personal preference. It ain't got none of that. I can't even give you a specific reason. Some people like things they like. Some people don't like things they don't like. That's just one of the things I don't like. So it is what it is. This last segment for this first episode is called Think. Now, if you know, you know. If you wasn't born in the late 90s or early 2000s, you wouldn't know. But if you know what I'm talking about, you know. That was a reference to Jimmy Neutron when they go to that little sequence when he's trying to think about something super hard and figure out or have something come to his remembrance or brainstorm an idea for his little science projects. I just thought I would call it that. Honestly, I had another segment I was going to go with, but I just found that funny. And yeah, shout out to the 90s. I'm a 90s baby. Let's start there. I told somebody that I was in my late 20s before, and it was like, you're a 2000s baby. No, I'm actually a few years before the end of the 90s. Play with somebody else, not me. Thank you. Play with your mammy. 97 in this. Gang, gang. Yeah. So anyways, think. I am making this segment about something that you encountered this week that made you stop and think. Could be anything simple. Could be something super deep. Whatever the case may be. I mentioned this in one of my TikToks I made last night, but for me, something that I thought about, this guy makes videos. I wish, I'm telling you, I just be seeing stuff and I don't remember it. I'm not chronic. As much as I'm on the internet to do certain things, I'm not a chronically online person because I just be out the loop. I be in my own lane, running my own race. So I see things, I like them, I keep it pushing. I don't ever, like, I don't subscribe to nobody's content. I'm not a big YouTuber person. Like, when I was younger, when YouTube first came out in 2006, I was on there heavy. But, like, as far as subscribing to people's channels or people, if you mention me, the YouTuber, I'd be like, who is that? Like, child, for somebody who does social media, I'm so out the loop. I'm crying. I just do what I need to do for my clients, and that's about it, and for myself, and that's about it. But this content creator, he actually watched my story too, but because I reposted it, I didn't post anything deep about it. I just said this is super deep. So he posts a lot of things about ADHD and things that correlate with it. I think he's a Howard or No, he was Howard alumni, and I think he went to law school. He's a lawyer also. So, but he talks about how ADHD, in different scenarios and different settings about life. And so this particular video was about ADHD and pretty privilege. And he was saying that women who are in this unique thing that are considered conventionally attractive, that are in this category, have a really good opportunity to connect with other people, because having the ADHD and being somebody who's neurodivergent makes you look at humans a lot differently, and you understand humans on a different spectrum. Like, we could look at them from a very wide viewpoint, but a lot of people can. That's just ADHD, period, not the pretty privilege part. But the pretty privilege part comes in where he said that because people look at you and they expect you to act how you look. A lot of people think pretty women have no brains. They don't think they're, I don't know what that's about, because I know so many beautiful women that are very intelligent. But unfortunately, there are a lot of beautiful women that are birds, that have no type of education, that aren't that educated, that don't really move about life like that. Or they are educated, but they move about life using their pretty privilege for shallow things, unfortunately. So I found that super interesting. It made me stop and think, because it didn't even make me think that I have an opportunity, because by being neurodivergent and meeting people neurotypical, I don't feel like, I just realized I was neurodivergent literally like 2 or 3 years ago. Wish they diagnosed me with it as a child, because if they did, my life would have been a lot easier. But there's already enough, and like, the nuances of relating, correlating with people and speaking with people, and having social anxiety, being an anxious person, usually that comes along with it, but that's not always the case. But the pretty privilege part, I never realized, like, it always triggers me and bothers me, because if y'all watch my TikTok, you will see I always ask people, why do people think I'm one of them? And I just realized that people probably think I'm one of them because I'm a conventionally attractive woman. So people come up to me, and a lot of men are very shallow and simple minded. So they come up to you thinking that, yeah, she's easy, she's pretty, she's gonna do whatever I want her to do. And that's just not the case. I really be in shock. But I never realized, honestly, I didn't acknowledge my beauty or anything until I was an adult either. Like, I always know I was cute or whatever, but the way that people look at me when I'm in public, the way that people are drawn to me, I don't know if it's just my energy, my light, because honestly, I do have really bad RBF. I'm from Philly, so I don't play them games. I don't want people talking to me in public, because men be acting crazy. So I do have really bad RBF. So I'm like, why are people still staring at me? And it's like, most of the time people smile at me. It's not like they're giving me dirty looks or being weird. It's like they seem drawn to my energy. I don't know what that's about. Never thought about the fact that it could be a mix of those things, or that my ADHD makes me able to understand humans in a different way that other people genuinely cannot put a grasp on or can't grip on. I never realized that there are some things that people genuinely cannot comprehend. Like, I really be trying to understand humans. I should have took psychology. I say that all the time, because I really care about why humans do the things they do and how their brain works. And I really never realized that some people genuinely cannot grasp certain things. Like, the thought of those things is not even like plausible for them. Their brain and the way that they were raised, all the things that affected them, trauma, etc., it cannot wrap its mind around certain ideas or concepts. I'm such an open-minded and free thinker. I'm just like, that didn't even click to me, that people can't think about those things, or that it's really not something that occurs to them. So that was my think segment for the day. Let me know what y'all think about that. Let me know what your relations are to it. If you have ADHD, if you think that you're a conventionally pretty person, how does that affect your life? How do you understand others? How does it affect the way people approach you and things like that? I'm curious. Let me know. And so that is the end of the episode today for Black Women versus the World. Thank you guys for tuning in to my first soft launch episode, full on episode. Before, I was just doing reels and like a little mini series, so people could just get to know me as a host and personal things about me and my preference, my personalities, all those things. Personalities. I ain't got multiple personalities. My bad. My preferences and my personality, singular. But I would love if you guys could subscribe. I don't have anything to rate the podcast on, but if you want to leave me a review, feel free to email me, leave something in the comments, message me personally, send me a DM. Follow us on social media. And yeah, I'm going to do an outro prayer every single time as well. Just want to pray over people. I know that a lot of people don't like to listen to people's prayers. They're like, oh, I don't know what type of spirits people got going on. But this is all from the heart. This is definitely God spoken. Whatever I pray is just whatever God puts in my heart at the moment. So hope that you guys appreciate the prayer. If you don't like it, skip over it so you ain't got to hear it. But dear Lord, thank you for this day. Thank you for waking everybody up to see another day. Thank you for allowing my podcast to reach the right ears, the right people, to be able to find people to connect with through various experiences, through unfortunately pain and suffering. Those are the things that actually usually wind up being our testimony and a blessing to others. So I hope that all of my experiences and the things that I express on this podcast, that I know I'm going to get ridiculed. I know people are going to judge me. I've already had that experience, unfortunately. But I do hope that there are some, if it reaches even one single person and it inspires them to either become closer to you or just to feel like they have another human in the world who understands their experiences, Lord, then that's a blessing. And I feel like I'm doing your work and bringing glory to you, Lord. So I thank you for everybody who's tuned into this episode. I pray that it continues to grow, that people continue to, that I reach the right people that can come on my podcast and have discussions with me about really deep topics in the world that people, the things that people fear to talk about. That's exactly what you did when you came on earth, when you sent Jesus. You spoke about things that people didn't want to hear about and that people didn't want to talk about. And I would like to emulate that and be somebody who talks about the hard topics, who brings about the fit and does it in a way that brings about unity to other people, Lord. So thank you for this day. Thank you for this podcast. Thank you for the way it's going to grow. I pray that you bless it in Jesus' name, amen. And I pray that you bless all the listeners in Jesus' name, amen. Thank you for listening to Black Women versus the World. If you guys got any topic suggestions, you got any questions for me, anything you want me to answer, I might start doing questions at the end that people ask me. But yeah, I'm so grateful for y'all. Follow me on social media, BWVTW podcast. Follow my personal page, SharRL, I'm crying. I had to think about it. Wow. I won my spelling bee in 6th grade. You would think. I thought I was going to be a Keela and a B baby. I went to school when I went to regionals, everything. I got on the 3rd round, shit. Anyway, thank y'all for listening today. Hope everybody has a blessed day. Mwah.
Black women versus the world. I'm so rare, like golden.